The video we watched, that video was about the Mandala of Souls.
You want to call it the Mandela of Souls. I don't think he coined that term. I don't think it's a common term that people use. I think that he said it was that was a way for him to describe what he was trying to tell us.
What was his name? Hold on, let me look at it.
Mellen Thomas, I think.
Mellen Thomas. In 1982, Mellen Thomas died of a terminal brain cancer, and he
And like an hour and a half, he came back to life, and people were like, "Oh my God, what the heck?"
Matter of fact, Deepak Chopra named him the. What did he say he named him?
I don't remember, but yeah, it was something about like the afterlife, and just because he has so much information, because he's ever since that experience, supposedly he goes in and out of like he keeps having out of body experiences after that, where he's able to connect with the light, was what he calls it, but he believes that the light is God, so he's able to connect with God easily all the time when he goes into his out-of-body experiences now, and he's always asking questions, so he has a lot of answers about the afterlife and the meaning of life and humanity and all of that.
Right, and one of the main experiences he had, he described it as that he was going towards a light. It was a light tunnel, and that tunnel was made up of the souls of other human beings that died, ascending towards the light in one direction, in the direction he was going.
It was
and then
like
in the
freeway.
Yeah, it was like a freeway, and in the opposite direction was newer born humans.
It's all the newer souls, or like the souls that were going to incarnate into Earth, to be babies. Like they were going this way, so it's like coming and leaving, northbound, southbound, soul highway, or whatever.
And basically, that our bodies, we're just these bodies. We're just a housing, a temporary housing. We're all pure. There's no soul that's dark. There's no soul. There's no human being that, that's dark. We're all connected to the consciousness, to the light, to God. And basically, I couldn't do a better job at explaining it the way he did.
There are a lot of really profound points that we should bring up since we're having this conversation. So what you're saying is, like, we're all connected to God. There was a point at the end of the video where he said there's no, like, we're not really separate beings or separate, minds, or, we're one consciousness really. And there's no such thing as linear time. It's not actually real. It is an illusion. And we came into Earth to experience time and space.
Yes.
Just for the joy of it, just for the fun of it, so we can know ourselves, so God can know what it's like, being me in this time, experiencing time and space like this, in this situation, in this situation that we're in. How do we get out of it? What experiences do we have? What feelings do we have? And he also said that even if it's the worst day of your entire life, it's still amazing, because human beings have so potential. So the worst day of your entire life, you think it's, just nothing possible good can ever come out of this, you're at the lowest point, but you have so much potential.
Right.
It's actually nothing in the grand scheme of things.
We're the greatest creation ever. The entire experience of the universe is inside of us. And I understood that as us, our DNA is encoded with the entire history of the universe.
Yeah.
The universe itself, the solar bodies, the stars, the astral body, all of that is an actual being, an organism. And we're an aspect of that organism, a very important aspect. he likened it to the brain of the because we or the memory, because we hold on to all of that, and that even that when you transcend them, when you leave the body and you go into and you get closer and connect to God or to consciousness, that you lose everything that's dark or impure or evil. And it doesn't matter what kind of existence you had here as a human. And he made an example of the fact that even
Hitler, supposedly the most evil person ever, right? Even though I'm sure there were way more evil people, or that we would call evil. But as you said, there's really no such thing as evil. It's only just in this time-space reality what we've accepted as evil, and what we all agree upon which people are evil, and because we like to judge each other and point fingers and all of that kind of thing, right? It's really just negative, positive energy. It's all energy.
Right.
But yeah, so even Hitler.
Well, I mean, there, just like you said, there have been more evil people. Just what we consider evil or good, what we interpret as good or evil, the universe doesn't understand that. Like, our souls are all pure, and the only time that exists is now. The past, the future doesn't exist. The time is now. This moment, this particular moment is all we have, and we have to do everything that we can to live the most or experience the most of this moment. It's a privilege for us to even be here. Our existence is a privilege, no matter how short or long we think it is. In proportion to the time of the universe, it's only a blip. It doesn't really matter. Some people get 1 day, some people get 70 years. Doesn't matter. Experience the most out of that.
Right, exactly. And whatever we do consider evil or good or bad or whatever, that really only matters in this physical reality.
Mm-hmm.
That only matters at this moment, in this existence at this point. But any time past this, or just in any other reality, it means nothing. Your judgment actually means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, because if you think about
it doesn't count for anything.
The animals, the other living things, they don't care about our judgment.
Yeah.
They don't care how we relate to each other.
It actually takes a lot of the pressure off if you really think about your life. And we're always so harsh on ourselves, right? And anytime we make a wrong move, we make a mistake, and then we're just like so down on ourselves, and it just weighs so heavy, and we carry that with us.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we can't even get over it.
Yeah, some people are stuck in it.
But it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And I think that listening to people, I believe that people like him, who they came into this world to have these near-death experiences so that they can experience what goes on, beyond this. And they're able to give us information and let us know that, because otherwise we really take a lot of these things very seriously. We take our lives way too seriously, and our situations way too seriously. And
our careers, our jobs, our relationships, our failures,
our financial
flaws.
Health.
We spend so much time worried about other human beings' constructs, like these social constructs that we're subjected to.
Yes.
In the grand scheme of things,
none of it matters.
None of it matters.
It really
what
doesn't.
we really should do is get closer and closer to your spiritual self, to yourself. What did he say? The only thing that matters is the self.
Now. And the self. And what is the self exactly? And he was like, are we supposed to, what did he said something about consciousness and expansion. and I forgot the last statement, how he was relating.
Like, is the universe expanding, or are we expand? Is the self expanding towards consciousness? Is consciousness expanding, or is the universe expanding? Because there's always this keep trying to figure out time. You know, from birth till date, we've understood time as linear. We even have markers,
Yeah.
years, hours, minutes, weeks, months, but the universe does not respect our linear markers of
Right.
time. What is really happening is there's a general consciousness, and it's expanding. And if you notice the way we're just having that conversation about the fact that more people are starting to get more aware and understand the importance of our existence. Yes, the media make it seem like we're all wallowing in some pitiful existence, and we're all materialistic, and there's so much violence in the world. But the reality is that a lot of us actually are starting to get more awake and in tune to what our real purpose on this world is. We have a larger purpose on this world. Our existence is not mere some stupid career or some thing that we worry about.
Yeah.
And now more than ever, we're getting more aware of that.
Yeah.
And so there's a call to action, and that call to action is grow spiritually, go inward, do what you can to rid yourself of materialism and hedonism and debauchery and things that take power away from you, and spending so much time worrying about things that take power away from you. Rather, this is a call for us to, go become pure and value the things that are pure and righteous, and the things that get us closer and closer to our to consciousness and our spiritual self.
Right. Because I think that's the only way you're really going to, find true happiness and fulfillment, is if you do that. Because when we go the other route and we are more materialistic, I think that, because there are other videos that I watch about this. There's this one dude named John St. Julian something, and then he's always talking about the satanic matrix.
What does that mean?
So the satanic matrix is basically based on materialism, pretty much. Like this whole, kind of like the whole the whole concept of the matrix, except the satanic matrix is very evil, and it has this heavy influence on us, needing to buy things to show off and make each other jealous, and we're constantly chasing money and chasing material things and worrying about our materialistic desires, and being promiscuous and things like that. And then we're just going, no, this is, for the most part, I think especially in today's society, and like what Hollywood is showing us right now, and in music and entertainment, they're showing us that no, this is so right. Forget all the old school traditional ideas about morality and values, because that doesn't exist anymore. We all know that, like, we're not supposed to be religious, or I don't know, they're breaking down religious thought and traditions and things like that, right? And like you always keep saying, we're going into this godless society, or
well, the world is descending into godlessness.
Right. So it's descending to godlessness. It's the materialistic influence is like on steroids right now. It is crazy. I think it's more intense than it's ever been. So that's the satanic matrix, and so you get what I mean, right?
Well, because right, but I also think, now that you're saying that, it's making me think that if there's equal and opposite evil, if the power of evil is equal and opposite to the power of good, then even though we perceive that there's higher materialism, there's an equal amount of people who are spending more time
on the other side,
on the good side.
Yeah, and where I'm going with this is today, more and more people, thanks to the internet and of course all of our technology. So there's a good and bad side to all of our technological advancements, right? Because some of it is really helping, assisting the power of the satanic matrix, and getting us all trapped inside this
well, there's access to
bubble.
pornography, materialism,
All of
everything
it.
bad is like at your
It's
fingertips, right
exactly.
there.
But everything good as well. So we have access to so much, information. We can find meditation. We find plenty of content on
Look at the stuff we're watching here.
just like the video that we just now saw. And there's
Right.
so many audiobooks out there and lectures and even podcasts that talk about things like this. So there's a lot of information and ways that this information spreads through technology just as well. And I think that there are plenty of people who are being woken up by this spread of this information, and then they're breaking away from this matrix, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the people on the other side, the satanic matrix, who are, I don't know, the main influencers, or whatever, I think they are actually feeling it, and they do feel like they need to be more intense.
We are at war.
Yeah.
There's a war
Because
of
they
good versus
can
evil.
I think that they feel like there is this change. There is a major, there's a shift, right? People are moving away, or some people are waking up, they're moving away, they're raising their vibration, better things are happening to them, and they're just completely unplugging from the crap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're also helping other people unplug from the crap. But the crap is going, oh, we're losing people.
And
we
they're
don't
bringing
want,
out all stops.
if more people are able to raise their vibration, and that's going to spread like a virus, and then they lose their power, and then what happens? Abundance,
Yeah.
wealth, people are,
Peace.
there's no real need to even call it wealth if everyone's just doing okay and everyone's at peace and they're fine. Majority of people are in that space. You can't tell someone that you have to buy this stuff because that's going to fulfill your need. You know what I mean? You can't tell people you have to buy all these designer things.
No, because they don't care.
They're going to be
for it
like,
anymore. Yeah.
for what? I don't, whatever. The shirts that I'm wearing are fine. That doesn't do anything for me. You can't tell people that they have to drive certain cars or whatever.
I'll keep buying an iPhone every year.
An iPhone every year. Like, you can't tell people that they have to keep doing something just to stay relevant, or just to, people are just going to buy what they feel that they want to buy. Or they feel that's going to bring value to their life, but they're going to be more aware and conscious about what they spend money on, and they're going to be more fulfilled. So they're not going to buy things out of materialistic desire. They're going to buy things out of, this is just what I want to enhance my life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, you know what I mean? So there are forces that are gonna go broke, or maybe become less
Oh no,
rich.
they're not. Listen, they're not
And
going out
they're-
without a fight. That's
they're
why
not
all
going out
stops
without a
are
fight.
off.
They're gonna lose power, and they're not gonna have as much control over the people. And you know what? They're in the spiritual community. The last several years, I've been reading. Actually, for a long time, I've been reading about this thing, or this concept, or this thing that's coming. Supposedly, I don't know if you've heard about have you heard about the Age of Aquarius? Hasn't come up? Have you heard about the New Earth?
No, what is that? What are these terms mean?
Okay, so right now we're in the Age of Pisces. And even Billy Carson's spoken about this, and when he talks about something, it's not really coming from people who do channeling or gather information in a woo-woo way. He's usually doing his research. So the Age of Pisces actually stemmed from Amun-Ra, who was one of the ancient Egyptian gods, or this is where he traces it back from, where he remember how he believes that monotheism started from when he decided that he was going to set up this earth and make people worship him.
Who's
and
he?
He's one of the Anunnakis.
Okay.
So, or one of the Anunnaki sons or something like that. He's one of those people. So anyway,
the ancient beings that
may have seeded
that dominated this that what?
That may have seeded this planet, or masqueraded as gods on this planet, and forced us to be slaves, and all this stuff, right? So anyway, he believes that the age of Pisces is what he was supposed to rule, I guess maybe even spiritually or energetically, over the earth for so many thousands of years, right? And that was supposed to influence us to buy into all the crap of like these religions that he put out. And I believe, and I think the royal family, the British royal family, is connected to him. Like it's a straight, like it's a bloodline. So they're part of it.
Really?
Yeah, they propagated this.
But connected to... You haven't mentioned who...
The ancient Egyptian god.
Which one?
Amun-Ra.
Amun-Ra, okay.
Yeah. And that family, right? Akhenaten and all those people. I think Amun-Ra was his grandfather or something like that. So anyway... So this was supposed to be the age of Pisces, and it's also, he was considered like the sun god. And back in the ancient times, the sun was, or I read about this somewhere, or someone said something about this, like it was actually Saturn. The sun that they were seeing was Saturn. And who is this?
Saturn?
Yeah, the planet Saturn. And who's the god of Saturn? Baal. So this is all connected. It's like all the same thing, and that is the influence that has been reigning over the earth for several thousands of years, right? And that's why we are so heavily material influenced. Right? We're all that's the satanic matrix that we're all part of. It's supposedly
that makes so much sense. With the way Hollywood and the kind of satanic rituals that go on the Grammy stage, or even on some of these entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just godless.
Absolutely. And it I mean, yeah, and there's so much evil symbolism in every performance and the music videos and all these things. Even the Rihanna thing, when that one dude broke it down, but he was like, it was in the trailer. The trailer had the symbolism, not her actual performance, because they were saying that like it's going to be too much to follow the satanic ritual that Sam what's-his-face did.
Right. There's a lot of symbols. There's no doubt about it. Sometimes when I'm watching these things, like, this just...
Now that you're open, I think we're finally catching it.
You start seeing it, yeah. And it's very off-putting, because I just go, it makes me...
You're like, oh my God.
Well, I shouldn't be consuming this stuff if I don't agree with it.
And it hurts me that so many young people are worshiping this. I mean, I was a young person once who also idolized people, the entertainers that were popular at my time. Yeah. So, yeah, it makes me mad.
Part of pop culture. And which is unfortunate, because they're quick to... You have platforms like YouTube and some of these other platforms, they're quick to silence or ban people who are promoting a different sense of ideology or different message, what we would call positive message. But then they allow these other things, anything that Hollywood is putting out, and some of this, what I call debauchery, they allow that to
debauchery.
It's insane, and we're supposed to allow young minds to feast on this thing, on all this type of negative
because
information.
mainstream culture is very like, I don't know how to describe it now. I guess it's just super liberal, and it's like, let's go away from anything that is wholesome.
Well, it's serving that God,
but yes, actually,
God, so, which makes
mainstream
sense.
culture, we serve Baal.
Right. That's what they're doing.
That's all it is. We worship, we serve, everything like that. So if you're part of mainstream culture, you idolize all these celebrities. That's the whole thing. So you should really look this kind of thing up and see what you're actually supporting. But there's good news. Okay, so you said that you haven't heard of the New Earth. The New Earth concept, Dolores Cannon, she has a bunch of books on this, and then a few other people have as well. And so she calls it the New Earth. Mm-hmm. Supposedly, and there are various different people who have described it in different ways about what's supposed to happen. And supposedly, we are coming to that point, that tipping point where Earth is going to shift. So, Billy Carson believes that he did the math. And so, the age of Pisces is going to end. The age of Aquarius starts 2025. Age of Aquarius is at the beginning of the New Earth. Age of Aquarius is open-mindedness and freedom, and we're gonna purify ourselves, we're gonna cleanse, we're gonna be on a whole different level of consciousness. And that is when we start to recognize our human superpowers. We start we go within, we become more spiritual, and we become happier and more fulfilled, and we step away from materialism and all that kind of thing, and we move. Humanity just takes it up a few notches. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's that. Now, so Dolores Cannon, what she says is going to happen during this time is, first of all, the Earth is supposed to split into two separate dimensions. So what's going to happen is the people who are very positive, uplifting, or people who are able to raise their vibration, they're going to go into this the fifth dimension. Earth is going to go fifth dimension and then third dimension. We're already in 3D right now, but we're going to. So anyway, the people who are able to raise their vibration,
the people who are able to ascend the spiritual mountaintop of our higher consciousness.
There you go. So, those people who have been awakened, basically, the people who are awake and ascend to the spiritual mountaintop of their higher consciousness, they go into 5D, and that's when everything changes. That's when it's a completely different thing. But the people who stay low vibrational beings, the people who are still angry, they hold on to regret, they're just mad, they hate everyone, they're victims, they chase money, they're into materialism, they can't get out of that low vibration, and they refuse.
The bottom chakra.
If you are operating from root chakra and you cannot move from there, and you refuse, you fight it, then you're going to stay there. And what's going to happen is, can you imagine what happens when you have a world where everyone is low vibration? Everyone is just mad and angry and horrible, right? And there's no one there to balance the energies. So there's no happy people to balance the anger. You know what I mean? So it's not going to be neutral at all. It's actually going to progressively get worse and worse and worse. And that is going to become what they call hell.
Yeah, that's the hell. That the Revelation, the book of Revelations in the Bible. Yes,
and that's why I feel like all these old religion books, the book of Revelation in Christianity, and then Islam, when they talk about the Day of Judgment and all of that, I think that's what this is. It's not going to be
a physical place where they burn.
It's not a physical place where you burn. I don't think anything like that exists. But what does happen is, this is the tipping point where Earth is going to split. Because everyone talks about this, but from different perspectives and different interpretations. And I think those prophets who came up with this, they also saw it coming. They knew, but this was the only way that they could describe it. And we all interpret their description as, these are different places where you go. But I don't think that's what happens. So yeah, these people are going to be in low vibration, and it's just going to get low, 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 and it's just going to be a world of people who are angry and regretful and victims, and they're just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. You know, the people, and then the people who were able to just kind of like let go and live and be happy and love each other, just love humanity and move forward and things like that, like raise your vibration, raise to the spiritual on top of your higher consciousness, things like that. You're going to ascend into 5D. Okay, so 5th dimension, is the point where you're instant manifestation. You can think about something and that something can happen immediately. Like that level of manifestation. So
there's time, the space or the gap between what we consider as time comes together.
Yeah.
That's the way I interpret it, where you're not waiting 0 to 60 years or 0 to 70 years. Everything just starts to happen instantly.
Yeah, because you're less dense. 3D, we're more dense and we're heavy. 5D, we're going to be light. We're actually going to be more light-bodied. And we're not even going to be eating food. Although what Dolores Cannon says is we're actually not going to be eating meat anymore. We won't be eating food at all, like heavy food or anything like that. Our diet is going to be more liquid. Basically, we're just going to juice. We're going to do fruit and vegetable juice, or like that's how I interpret what she says. But yeah, it's going to be more of a liquid diet, and food's not going to be a real thing that we just sit around and like, you know, make a big deal about, because we're going to be finding so many ways that we can't even fathom in our 3D minds right now. There are so many things that we have the potential of doing and conceiving and creating, but we can't even fathom it right now. We have no idea what we're capable of right now in this level of consciousness. But once we're able to ascend, to go to 5D, our minds are going to be way more open, and we're going to be able to think crazy things.
Wait, how are we going to pay the bills though?
We're going to be able to manifest instantly, and actually bill paying is probably not going to be an issue. If you get instant manifestation, you honestly think that paying the bill is going to be that difficult? You're going to figure out a way. You're finding a way to pay your bills, or however the new monetary system is going to work, or, you know,
Bitcoin.
It may be Bitcoin. And see, when we were going through 2020, when the pandemic first started, I thought we were going into this, like, I was like, wow, it's happening. We're doing it. This is what sets it off.
What? You mean when we were trading Bitcoin?
No. 2020, when the pandemic first started, and it just seemed like the world shut down, and then crazy things were happening.
Oh, okay.
And conspiracy theories were just falling out of the air, and like there are some people who are completely terrified, and then they're scared, and they're saying nasty things all over the internet, and then there are other people who are like, I don't care, like, let's live. And then there's just so many crazy things. People. Exactly. I felt like one of those people too. Like, let's just keep living our lives. Let's just be healthy. That's all we got to do. That's how we fight this. We stay healthy and we stay positive. Anyway. So, but also during that time, Bitcoin became a thing. Forex trading was a thing. Everyone was trading, and everyone was throwing their money into cryptocurrency and all of that. And when I was seeing these major changes and how it was becoming mainstream, I was really sitting there thinking, like, I think this is how it happens. Like, we're going to go into 5D soon. Maybe. Or maybe we're going to not we're not going to be the chosen ones that ascend or something like that. And so I really thought that something like that it was happening before our eyes, and we're going through these major earth changes. And I do think that was the case, but it doesn't happen instantly. It's a very gradual change. So I think that was maybe one of the, cataclysms that shook us up and woke people up, made people think differently and do different things so that maybe they do become more awakened and enlightened. And then they move in whatever direction they're going to go, wherever they're meant to be, I guess. And then we're slowly changing.
Yeah. It was a significant marker in time, for sure.
It really was. And I think that it got people to change. Not everyone, but a lot of people have changed. So they became progressively more miserable, or they just really enhanced their life. We decided that we were going to sell the house and move to Florida and just try to live a totally different lifestyle and be different and enjoy the beach.
We traveled a lot too.
We did a lot of traveling. So we decided to really try to enhance our lives more and all that, but
experience life outside of work.
Yeah.
Because prior to that, it was just work.
Yeah, it was all just work. So I think it woke us up and helped us realize
accumulating money.
It's not about chasing money.
No, it's not.
We needed to learn that lesson. It's not about chasing money. Forget materialism.
Yeah.
We have to focus on our actual life, on our life together.
Experience in this universe, yes.
Yes.
Living the most.
On who we are.
Investing in our relationship, our time together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because before the pandemic, it just felt all we were doing was focusing on career, buying more things, and paying off in debt, using the money from the job to pay the debt. Rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Relationships didn't matter. Nothing else mattered.
We were just chasing and getting more.
Trying to get more and more.
What were we getting more for?
Yeah. But we had to go through that and then loss, and then we're here now. But we'll talk more about the loss at another time. But it's I think the point that the call to action there is to just realize that there's a higher purpose to this life. And that higher purpose is drawing closer to your spiritual self and realizing that, there's more to life than what we're living. This materialistic world, this financial system, the culture, the entertainment, the food, all these things that we've grown accustomed to, that the world around us keeps telling us to prioritize. Those are not the things that are really important. What's really important is nurturing your relationships, reading and growing your mind, meditating, being still, and growing closer to God, because in your stillness, God speaks to you. Yeah. If you're distracted by chasing some degree or some number in your bank account or some hedonistic lifestyle, if that's all you're distracted by, you're gonna miss when God speaks to you.
Yeah.
My computer keeps going into screensaver mode, and it's very annoying. Anyway, that's all we've got, really.
Yeah, so I think that the best that anyone can do is, another thing I think that people, and this ties into what you're saying, because I really believe that the key to getting away from that materialistic worship would be to try your best. If this makes sense to you, then great. Try your best to live with a feather heart. A heart that's light as a feather. Mm-hmm. And do you know what that means?
No, what does that mean?
Okay. So what would weigh your heart down is if you hold on to... anger would hold it down, resentment, guilt, anything like that. Jealousy.
Fear,
those heavy desires that you're chasing things. anxiety, depression, things that just kind of like weigh you down. So you, throughout this lifetime, I think our goal, what people should be working on is getting rid of that, letting that go.
And what does that mean? I know, I know when people say get rid of it, it sounds kind of esoteric. It just sounds like a lot of words. I think the practicality of it would be forgive easily.
Yeah.
Don't be a victim. Don't hold on to your failures. Don't believe that you're less than or incapable of. Don't, forgive easily. That's a big one. Even when someone hurts you, whether it's currently or in the past, your family hurt you, whoever hurt you,
Also forgive
let
yourself.
it go. Speak on that. That's a big one.
Forgive yourself, because I don't know if everyone pays attention, but it's so important to forgive yourself, because many times I think that we make a lot of mistakes throughout our life. And sometimes, other people may have already forgiven you or completely forgotten about what you did, or maybe whatever you did didn't, maybe they didn't take it too hard, or immediately they were like, you know what, it's just a mistake. I'm not even going to be, I'm not going to hold on to this or whatever. But you may be holding on to it really hard, especially if like whatever mistake you did had, like a heavy impact on someone else or yourself or someone's life or anything like that. If you have, because everyone makes mistakes, we all do that. We're not perfect, and especially if you know that you had good intentions but it just didn't work out, or maybe you just lost yourself in the moment and all of that, you do have to know that, like what we talked about in the video, coming from that video, everyone is pure. Like everyone, spiritually, everyone is pure. Everyone's heart is beautiful. Even Hitler went to heaven. Okay.
I don't want to just single out Hitler.
I know, but I just want to, as an example, because most people think oh, he's so evil. So even if the most evil human being, is beautiful and, pure in the other realm, then you have to know that in this physical reality, it's not that big of a deal. You can't hold on to things like that in this lifetime.
It doesn't mean that you should go around committing crimes because you're pure. If you're committing crime or if you're doing evil, bad things to other human beings, then you're still vibrating in a lower self, and you're gonna pay for it.
You obviously are. It's impossible for you to be all about, for you to be very connected with God and to love humanity, because those are high vibrations.
Yeah, when you transcend to the spiritual mountaintop of your higher consciousness, you won't commit those types of acts against other people.
You can't. You absolutely cannot commit any kind of crime like that to another human being. So you can't. You killed someone. You were obviously in a very low vibration. But you can forgive yourself. Those people that you've hurt can forgive you. And they have to if they want to move up as well. This is actually a life lesson for everyone in that situation, to practice forgiveness and love for humanity. And that will help set them free.
Yeah.
If you have to go closer to God, and that is the only way you will ever get over that.
To err is human, to forgive is divine.
Yes. You are close to God when you forgive. You forgive yourself, you forgive other people. And you can't move forward. You can't have a wonderful life. You can't ascend to the spiritual mountaintop of your higher consciousness. None of that if you don't try to work on getting closer to God.
If you hold on to hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't
be a hurt locker.
Don't be a hurt locker. Don't be that kind of thing, because, it'll bring you down. It'll keep you down until you can finally let that go. And if you hold on to that your whole life, then,
You're down there with it.
Then it
And,
sucks
you know,
to be you
there's-
because you could have had a nice life.
Onye Jim na ala Jiomwe.
Yes.
Remember that?
I don't know. I don't remember that.
I've told you that multiple times. Like when you're committing evil against somebody, you're down there with them.
Yes.
Or if you think that by holding someone down that you suddenly are winning,
Yeah.
no, because you have to be down there to hold them.
Right.
So you're both equally down there, and to
Yeah.
liberate. To find freedom, to find happiness, you have to let them go so that both of you can rise.
Yeah.
It's
perfect.
It's that practical.
Yes, absolutely. Spirituality is not that difficult.
No,
it's very practical.
These are timeless rules.
Yeah. So.
The rules are there. Like people before us have followed these same rules.
The
People
ancients
after
tried
us,
to tell us.
they keep telling us. They have so many prophets that have written it in different ways. Mm-hmm. But they're all saying the same thing.
Pick whatever you understand, whatever resonates best with you. Maybe you understand those words better. But either way, they're telling you something that's useful that's going to help get you there.
Right.
And it's going to bring you closer to God. So,
All right. That's a good place to wrap it up.